Derek captured Herefordshire rituals and traditions in what was undoubtedly a very different era, especially for children.
In those days you could go anywhere because everyone knew you. But we played outside. I grew up in Three Elms, the Yaser Brook. I know all the Yaser Brook. Huntington, the duck ponds. We played in nature. We had bows and arrows, catapults, Bowie knives.
We'd go off for the day on our bikes. Didn't have watches. We'd go off with a little packet of sandwiches and a drink. We could be away all day and nobody would worry about us. We'd get back when we were hungry. We'd go and play on the building sites. We'd create a little den. Weren't bothered that anybody would tell us. Well, nobody told us off. Nobody did. We'd just go and play, and it was a paradise for children.
Then we used to swim in the river, of course, and I mean, we did know the river where we swam very, very well, and we all learned to swim in the river. My grandfather used to always tell us to walk up and swim down, and then we knew that we were always in our depth.
Hereford Beach, in the summer when the river was low, it was a pebbly beach area and it was heaving with families, with young children, taking a picnic, sitting on a blanket, children paddling, and sometimes the river was that low you could actually walk across from one side to the other. And I don't think I've seen Hereford Beach for a long time, even when the river's low. It just doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Oh yes, people used to dive over the Victoria Bridge, which really was very, very dangerous because there were shallow bits, but there was also the current of the streams. And it was very unwise, but people did do that. But I'm afraid I was a coward. I didn't do any of that. Well, I had a swim costume made out of a cardigan because it was wartime. And they were horrible because they used to sag. You can imagine, can't you? Once you'd had a swim, they were sort of all drooping.
Certainly I grew up with so many of these, just seeing them in the office, that you kind of forget. They almost become etched on your brain, don't they? You forget them almost.
Yes.
But
The only thing about this, of course, this demonstrates what Derek was always saying about things. Just quietly melt into the background and look at things that are going on
differently,
away from the main action. And that's where you get the best exhibition pictures. And this little
stunning composition, isn't it?
Perfectly timed, though, isn't it?
This one, I think, springs out to me. I mean, it's just... Almost every family's had that moment, haven't they? But
well, I don't know.
Never captured it, do you know what I mean?
How many families would have a small child standing in a fire bucket?
Well, you know, I mean, it's fun.
Derek's treatment of childhood was outstanding. He was able to get children to relax and ignore the camera, and he often filmed at their level. These images were taken at the abandoned Foxley camp near Mansell Lacey. It was a US military camp and hospital during World War II. And after that, it became home to the Polish Resettlement Corps and their families.